Hi, I'm Brooke Hernandez with Saw.com. I have Justin Mitchell, CEO and acquirer of Yak.com. How are you doing, Justin?
I'm doing good. Excited to talk with you today.
Who is really your clientele that you are going after, and what benefits do you think the new domain is providing or will provide for you?
Yeah, our ideal customer is either like a small startup or an engineering or design team inside of a larger enterprise or startup. And the brand name, the branding, and the domain has a lot to do with who we're attacking and kind of going after. And those are typically people that need to get approval from somebody, right? Whether it's a CEO or an IT team. And so that brand, that domain, all of that has to look legit. And legit in a sense of this is a real company that I can trust, but also that, hey, they look like they have some money behind them. They're not going away anytime soon. This is someone that we could go through the effort of vetting and getting into the company. One of the biggest things when I was working kind of on the agency side and going through these large enterprises, there's a lot of effort on the IT side to whitelist an app or a product into a bigger company. And a lot of the IT folks just don't want to go down that train if it's something that might not be around in 6 months. And so our .com is really this, it's a clout chaser in some ways. Like it's this idea of us saying like, hey, look at us, we're serious, right? Like this is no longer an indie project. That .com says to our brand, we are a big company, a little bit bigger than our own boots, right? It's a chest pounding moment of saying, look at us, we're one of the big guys, even if we're
Right.
not. I only have 7 full-time employees, right? But it helps give that appearance of we're not going anywhere. You can trust us. This is a legitimate website. I think a lot of people, especially if you think about maybe an older generation of people that are inside of an IT department, are going to look at that and go, a .chat domain? What are these guys, like hack the internet? Like what's a .chat domain? That's not a
Right.
thing. I've heard of .com and .io. That's it, right? And so it does help kind of soften that blow when you bring something into that IT department. And for us, also a 3-letter domain, right? Those are
Right.
hard to come by. It comes with some level, some modicum of, cash money was spent. And again, it helps that brand kind of get past that initial oomph into an IT department to say, hey, these guys look like they're investing in themselves. One thing that I've always said to other startups is, your website is akin to just like your storefront if you had a retail store. And if that was messy or dirty, didn't look like it had been cleaned in a really long time, no one's going to go buy your clothes in your store. And the same can be said about a website. If it's not being taken care of, if it's not up to date, if it's not well branded, if it doesn't work on mobile, whatever the thing might be, that's essentially your storefront. And at the end of the day, your domain plays a very large factor in that. I would probably, say it's akin to the street that you're on, right? There
Right.
are certain streets that people just don't want to go down because we know that's not a great street and we're not going to go shop on that street. And if your shop is on that street, you're just not getting the foot traffic. And for us, having that main street in our domain is a way to say we're here, we're legitimate, we paid the extra money to get on the safe street. And there's not to say that there's anything wrong with a non.com domain, but there is an inherent bias in the marketplace. So when we're looking at that IT manager or that engineer or that creative director, our brand name says, hey, we're legitimate, we're a big company, we're coming for you, and we would love to help you out. And a lot of that has to do with just image. And as fickle as that might seem, it's the facts of life. You have to appear like you are the big guy to get in that room.
Right. And it gives, like you said, the credibility. That's the factor that it really makes and shows is you're now this credible company that they're like, oh, okay, they, like you said, they have the money, they have the investment in this. We need to take the time to discuss it with them. So makes perfect sense. And what advice, I mean, you gave a little bit just then, but what really advice would you give to a startup or even a new company that's looking to rebrand? What would be kind of your go-to on it?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is investing in your customers. find out who your ideal user is, talk to them. That's a big first step, is just talking to your users. Say, hey, we've got 3 brand names. Which of these resonates with you the most, right? Talk to 15 different people and put that stuff out there. But I think in general, the biggest thing that you're going to want is something that's easy to pronounce, easy to spell, and easy to naturally, organically find on the internet. One thing that we've done really well with Yak, and I think part of it is due to us being very loud on social media, but we have gotten to the point with Yak where it is a household name. We're getting mentioned in articles. We're on these like org charts of top remote tools. And really part of that is the ability to just like remember that word. You know that name. It doesn't sound like another brand. It doesn't look like another brand. We have an easily findable URL. You can Google the name and we pop up. And a lot of that has to do with making a strong branding decision up front to not spell it weird, not, put an accent mark in there, not have a strange TLD, right? So like there's all these things that really help you. And what we found for sure is that the more organic traffic that you can get is just the less ad spend, the less education you have to do, the less effort you have to have in bringing people to your website. And that starts with having a brand name that's easy to share, easy to find, easy to say, and easy to search for.
You hit the nail on the head on that one, man. I mean, everything you said was just the brand, everything. It's just exactly what you need for even organic traffic. Like you said, I think people forget that that's a really big way to not have to spend so much money on marketing and on ad. Is you might have to invest a little more on a domain, but you have them coming straight to your site and not having to Google and possibly go to a competitor or any nature of that beast. So
In fact, the domain purchase on our end is a marketing expense. That's the way we build it against our runway, is that if we spend X amount of dollars up front, that means that we don't have to spend for the lifetime of owning this company marketing dollars to make up for how you find us online. It's an upfront fee that prevents years and years and years of extra marketing spend trying to battle against a bad, website domain.
exactly.